part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
I'm going to need you to stop.
With those kids jingle belling and everyone telling you be a good cheer.
Look at what you're doing.
I'm singing so good that this might get a copyright strike.
It's
It's the most wonderful time
Please, for the love of God.
the year. I was trying to make it sound like
I'm
a commercial since it's on TV.
I'm already dealing with this at my house.
I'm talking about football.
Oh, well, it sounded like a Christmas song, and my wife is already putting up Christmas shit at our
Remix.
house.
Wait, you have decorations going up?
Oh, the trees are already
Okay.
up.
All right, we need to stop.
Yes, you need to stop.
All right,
'cause
first
I'm
off, this
already
is-
dealing with
This is
it.
the Ball Card Show, the Sports Podcast.
For the Sports Collector,
I'm Jason Otero.
I'm Gary
And as
LeMaster,
always, we're brought to you by the Press Play.
Podcast Network.
All right, let's get into this.
That was really, really
Okay.
like the meth version of our
What
intro.
is the date today in the year of our
November
Lord?
the 2nd.
November the 2nd, 2023 in the year of our Lord. Okay. We just made it past Halloween, Satan's birthday,
We did.
and there are decorations going up in your home for Christmas.
One, I'm loving the fact that you just called it Satan's birthday. That's amazing. Yes. So, in my wife's defense, and there's not much of a defense for this, but in her defense, we leave for vacation in just a few days, and are going to be gone until the week of Thanksgiving. So that's normally when she decorates, and she didn't want to come home tired and then worry about decorating. She wanted
When
to
did
come
she
home.
start vacation?
She started vacation about 4 hours ago.
And then when are you leaving?
The 9th,
Which is how many days
8th
away?
or 9th. It's Tuesday, so 5
You have
days.
just committed to early November decorating from now on. I just want you to be aware. You have just moved the date up. You have given up ground. You have decided it's not a fight worth fighting.
Yes,
and
that's true. But
so-
here's the
but
thing.
now-
I don't decorate squat.
I know, but it's not about that. What is it about men that it just wears us out to see decorations 2 months before something happens?
Because it feels very rushed, and time already goes insanely fast, and the older I get, the faster it gets. So I don't need Christmas here any sooner than it's already going to be here.
Also, this is kind of sad but true. When I see Christmas decorations and I'm anywhere in public, I feel stressed because I know there's going to be way more people than I want to see.
Yes.
It's going to be hot.
The good news is I don't go into public very much.
That's not true. You go shopping all the time.
I
But
do?
yes, you do. You just shop for yourself, so you ignore those things because you're buying yourself things.
100%.
But at what point? Okay, so when is it too soon? When is it too soon for Christmas decorations?
Well, according to my wife, never. I would say that now is too soon. I'm a big, maybe the week of Thanksgiving, if you're taking some vacation time and you want to get ahead of things a little bit, I'm okay with that being the case. But I do not think that there is a functional reason for there to ever be Christmas decorations up in the month of October. And technically, she started decorating, I think, on Sunday, which would have been still in the month of October.
Okay, so I'm calling bullcrap on this being about vacation. It was a good excuse, a good reason, but it's wrong.
I don't disagree with you, but as you said, it's definitely not a fight that's worth fighting.
So let's carry this into any other holiday. 4th of July.
I don't decorate for 4th of July.
Well, if you did, May, would that be too soon?
Well, technically, it's the same decorations as there would be for Memorial Day, which is also in May.
Well played. All right, let's go to Easter.
People decorate for Easter?
Bro, do you not live in the suburbs?
People decorate for Easter.
Oh, Easter bunnies? Are you kidding me?
You talking about like the inflatable shit in people's yards?
Bro, I make a cave. I do an empty tomb in my yard.
Please don't.
I wait for kids to walk by and I kick the stone and I'm just
Please.
like, Rah!
Please don't.
No, that's a lie. But, okay, Valentine's Day, December.
Fake holiday.
Okay, let's keep this going. Thanksgiving.
Not really a decorations holiday.
September, too soon?
What decorations go up for Thanksgiving? Like a wreath?
Cornucopias.
Like technically that's just a fall thing.
You don't like put pictures of pilgrims up?
No.
Oh, we wear buckled shoes for 2 months. I guess what I'm getting at
Wooden
is,
ones?
when did it become okay? This is a slippery slope. It became okay somewhere. When we were kids, this did not happen.
No.
It did not happen.
Sometime in my late teens, I think, is when they started having a lot of the malls doing like Christmas in July shit.
Is it just all retail? Is it retail driven?
Oh, what holiday isn't retail driven?
Well, but, I just like to get in the Christmas spirit. No, you don't. You want to shop.
Yes.
Also, while we're on a tangent, I'm going to go ahead and say it. No one saves money on Black Friday. You just buy more junk.
There is no such thing as quote unquote saving money by buying something on sale. All you did was spend a little bit less money than you would have spent. You didn't save any money.
That's the myth. That's the myth. Because people going out don't actually stop there. They say, well, now that I got that for $30 less, I have $30 to spend on another good deal.
Yeah, that's not how. Yeah, I don't function that. Now, Krista, I will say this. I don't know whether Leslie does this or not. Krista, over the last 5 or 6 years, we don't actually go shopping. It's just Amazon deliveries every freaking day.
That is one evolution of the Christmas season that I can get behind.
Yes, 1,000,000%.
When I was dating my wife in high school, we lived in southern Indiana, middle of nowhere. And there was a couple times we got up at 3:45 to drive to Evansville, Indiana.
Oh,
it doesn't stop there. There's only so many stores
lost
in
me at
Evansville.
3:45.
Then we would drive up to Terre Haute or Jasper, or we would do a tour day southern Indiana.
Nope. There is zero chance that I would participate in that at any point in my life.
So, put your decorations away, people.
I'm glad that's where you went with that. I didn't know what was happening.
No, that's what's happening. That's kind of, and here's the thing. It makes me dislike Christmas a little bit when I see it too soon.
I already dislike Christmas.
Now, that's too far.
I do. I'm not a big fan.
I'm really shocked to hear you say that.
I don't know
Gary.
what you want from me.
I'm really shocked that you're so contrarian about something as basic as Christmas.
But here's the thing.
You know what else Gary doesn't like? Smiling.
There's a lot
You know what else he doesn't do? Have fun. You know what else Gary doesn't like? Kindness.
Here's what
You know what else is overrated? Patience.
You know what's crazy is the thing that I enjoy the most about Christmas is giving things to people. But all the other shit that goes along with Christmas, I have no use for. Like the day that we spend, I'm not even going to say with family because I don't like a lot of my family. But the day, like when we come and do Christmas with you and Leslie and the kids, I love that because I love giving you guys stuff.
Can I just encourage you? Say what you feel.
I always do. One thing you never have to worry about with me is what I'm thinking or where you stand.
Ever wonder. I know it's something else you like about Christmas.
What's that?
Multiple huge meals.
Oh, that's fair. But it has to be like certain huge meals. Like some of the huge meals that I go to, not so great. Like one of the best things about my grandma getting really old is that she can't cook anymore. Love her. She's amazing. She can't cook to save her life.
All right, so we've gone after your wife for decorating. We've gone after your elderly grandmother who can no longer cook.
She couldn't cook ever, but she did. And we would literally eat a piece of turkey that sucked all the moisture out of our body immediately. Like you needed a gallon of water.
It turns you into jerky.
Yes, like you needed a gallon of water after you tried to chew that piece of turkey breast.
You've communicated that you dislike the majority of your immediate and... Well, we don't know if it's immediate family or just distant relatives.
Immediate family, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's nice.
Most of them. Yeah.
Well, coming into the holiday season, this went about 5 minutes longer than it should have. A couple quick hobby things, and then what we're wanting to do in this episode is we're just going to run down the middle of the NFL season. Here we are. We're going to look at the AFC in this episode and talk through what I'm calling peekaboo or buy opportunities.
Okay.
Do you like that? They're hitting their peak in the middle of the season. Maybe a good time to sell. That's a peekaboo. Or a buy opportunity is, hey, I still think this is a good price on somebody on this team. Maybe worth picking them up.
Yep.
All right. So before we jump into that, break down this golden auction vault situation that's been circling the interwebs.
So, long story short, person bought something on Golden's auction. I think they paid $9 for it with the buyer's premium. It's a card that's probably worth $80 to $100, maybe $150 on a really good day. They bought it. It was a PSA slab, and they chose to have it just transferred to their PSA vault. Pretty standard practice for people who collect a lot of PSA stuff and have a PSA membership. This happened, and then 3 or 4 days after it happened, suddenly the card was no longer in their vault. There was no communication. There was nobody from Golden or PSA reaching out telling them what was going on. They had to call multiple times. Finally, they got a refund of the $9 they paid and still didn't know what was going on. And then eventually they were told, by Golden, the person who listed the card made a mistake at the starting price that they listed it at, and they weren't comfortable with what it sold for. So you're getting your money back, and they got their card back. That is bullshit.
Yeah.
That's not how auctions work.
Do you think they would have done that with a $50,000 item?
No, but I guarantee you that the person that they did it for lists $50,000 items with them.
Yeah.
And that's why they did it.
Yeah, that's messed up.
That was it in a nutshell.
Like the whole point of them is, hey, do you want this handled with a white glove experience? That's
Correct.
what they're trying. They're trying to sell. Like, case in point, whenever you watch the Netflix show, when Ken Golden threw out comps on items, you were like,
what?
Okay, he's getting premiums because that does not sell for that.
Or he lives in Delusionville.
This jersey, believe it or not,
Yeah.
that I flew down here to Puerto Rico to see, which that collection was insane, is worth all of the vital organs in San Juan combined on the black market.
No gallbladders.
Yes. Okay, that was weird. Product releases. Not super excited. Well, you have Tier
1 and Topps Gilded.
Now, Topps Gilded, baseball, right?
Yep.
Baseball product. I remember that last year. I enjoyed watching it get ripped. People got murdered on like random team breaks.
It's a very lottery product.
Yeah, if you've got some money and don't mind not hitting a lot and you're buying boxes, I think it's pretty cool. I was hopeful that I would see a lot of it on eBay and singles, but there wasn't a ton available.
Well, it's a $700 box, and the box has like 6 cards in it. So it's
whatever their version of base was. I was like, oh, I'll buy a bunch of base. You just didn't see it that much.
Well, and it's not cheap. So
No.
I got into one break of it. I got the Reds in 6 boxes for like $40, trying to chase a Matt McClain. I hit one card. It was a Barry Larkin to 99. And the comps on it are $20, which is crazy to me.
Not the worst.
But still, it's a very limited checklist. The hits are big when you hit, but I too have seen some brutal. I saw one half case where 3 of the 6 autos in the half case were Carlton Fisk.
Ooh, Carlton Fisk super collectors.
Also, I saw something the other day, speaking of Carlton Fisk, and it made me cringe. And I went, that's kind of a valid point. The meme said the best thing that ever happened to Carlton Fisk was Thurman Munson dying in a plane crash. Nothing? No response to that at all?
So anyway, if you had to have one person that you would say has signed for Topps more than anybody else, is it going to be Carlton Fisk or is it going to be Rod Carew? I have never seen more autographs than I've seen Rod Carew autographs come out of like Topps Tribute.
Yeah, there's a lot of Rod Carew stuff out there. Which, it's weird to me that Rod Carew doesn't have more of a hobby presence than he does, because with the Twins, it's him and Kirby.
Yeah.
That's about it.
That's it.
Kirby gets all the love. Carew gets none. The Hall of Famer.
Yep. All right. On to more sports news.
What do we got? There's a lot of chuckling.
State up north in Michigan's got a little bit going on.
Oh, yeah. It's funny watching Michigan fans twist in the wind with all this that's going on. Here's
what does suck for Michigan fans. The team is good.
We don't know if they're good. They've beaten nobody.
Well, over the last 2 years, they've drastically improved.
That's fair.
And they have been in a huge, I would say, slump for that program because it was a dominant program for historically over 100 years.
It appears
there may be some reasons for that.
Yeah.
And they're substantial. You know, complete fairness and transparency here. We are diehard Buckeye fans. So it breaks our heart to hear this because, actually it doesn't.
No, I think that realistically, you have to either be a just delusional Michigan fan or just so ideologically opposed to the idea of circumstantial evidence that you're just blinded. This scenario is about as open and closed as it gets. This dude, who was making $50,000 a year, by the way, no chance he was paying for this stuff.
No way.
Is buying 50-yard line seats, 15 rows up, at all the games of the big name opponents that Michigan might need to play. And oh, by the way, it came out last week that not only that was the case, but he also happened to pass along a lot of that information to South Carolina's coaches, who was a bad team last year, and then all of a sudden they beat 2 top 10 teams in a row down the stretch that would have potentially been big headaches for Michigan if they had to play them in the playoffs.
It's pretty bad. It's insane. They retracted the contract offer
to
for Jim Harbaugh.
It's going to end up to vacated wins. Harbaugh's probably going to lose his job.
Here's what I hate about football and all these sports. If it's happening and you are mid-season, all right, decisions can be made sooner before. This is a team that's capable of running very deep. They're capable of making the playoffs, with the ranking they have now.
If they win out, they will.
Yeah, if they win out. They're capable of going to the national championship. So when we have a pretty good idea this is happening, and you have several months till bowl games.
And Harbaugh's already under investigation for other violations.
Why can decisions not be made? And I don't mean just in this scenario. I look back, baseball has had the same thing happen. Miami, the Dolphins had some stuff going on a few years back that, with Brian Flores, things could have been looked at a lot sooner. Is there that much glad handing going on in these scenarios?
In college, it's the fact that the NCAA is the most incompetent, obtuse organization that has ever existed in the history of sports.
Now remember, Gary, don't forget to tell people how you feel.
The NCAA is a joke. I personally think in the next 5 to 6 years, the Power 5 schools are going to tell the NCAA to go fly a kite. We're just going to do our own thing. Yeah. We'll govern ourselves. You guys have fun with women's field hockey. Do your thing. Mm-hmm. With the NFL, they have to cover their asses. Yeah. The NCAA isn't concerned about that, but they are concerned with self-importance. And the longer they drag something out, the more self-important they can feel about the end result. So that's the scenario there. Do I think that it's dumb? Yeah. Do I think they could absolutely make a ruling on it right now? Yeah. Do I think they will? Potato chance.
Yeah, and it doesn't make sense to me. It's not fair to whatever team. Let's say the Buckeyes lose next week and they take themselves out of playoff contention, right? Just hypothetically. It still sucks for whoever would get beat by Michigan when there's a mountain of evidence. They would let them play through these bowl games, collect a significant amount of cash,
and then vacate all the wins later.
Like, that's the part that nobody talks about. For these big college programs, you make these big games, millions and millions and millions of dollars.
It's going to be what I think is going to be really interesting now is now that this is all out, the big teams that there's no chance Michigan's doing this right now. There's too many eyes on them. And they still have 2 games against 2 pretty good teams left on their schedule in Penn State and Ohio State. And they're not going to have anybody's signals for those games.
Yeah.
So let's see how that looks.
Do we know that they're not going to have anybody's signals?
Well, I can't imagine that
teams
Ohio
will be
State,
mixing it up just for
like, yes, I can't imagine that the big teams aren't going to change all their signals now. And I can't imagine that, like, even for example, like one of the things that Ohio State does with signaling to help other teams not be able to, because nothing is illegal about stealing signals in the game. So if I'm playing if like Ohio State's playing Michigan, during the game, they're able to decipher Ohio State signals from the other sideline. Nothing illegal about that.
It's no different than the quarterbacks calling an audible and the linebackers run in to try to hear what's going on, which happens every place.
Yes. But one of the things Ohio State does is they have 2 people on the sideline, 2 backup quarterbacks signaling. They each have a different color on. Even if all Michigan was able to suss out of their film that they got was which color jersey is live, that's a massive advantage for them. Mm-hmm. Massive advantage.
In baseball, when you were trying to figure out how to steal signs, the only thing you were looking for, the similarity would be looking for the indicator. So third base coach or the manager in the dugout you'd have all these crazy motions going on. And essentially, when you're watching a baseball signal, there is an indicator that changes from week to week. So 1 week, the coach would say, hey, the belt's the indicator. And then it would be, the second signal after the belt is your call. Or immediately after I touch my hat, that's the indicator. So having, if you could figure out what's happening, you knew when a hit and run was coming. You knew when somebody was being told to swing away. You knew when a bunt was being called, if somebody's going to take off. It's a huge advantage. But to have a heads up on that is insane.
Correct.
I saw Dave Portnoy. He was in the stands.
What a douche.
He is. And it's just funny to me. Here's a guy who's like, what's the big deal? And his two favorite teams are the Pats and Michigan.
Right.
It's like there's a common thread here. The exact same thing has happened for the Pats. They were just up there with the camera zoomed in.
Right.
Unapologetically. So anyway, I hope you all get in trouble if you're doing that. And I also kind of hope that if they could just lose to Penn State and Ohio State, that would solve a lot of problems.
Yeah, it's a moot point at that point.
So I think there'll be some motivation there for those big games. Let's jump into this segment. We're going to run through AFC. We're going to hit all the teams. I'm going to try to keep Gary moving, but you all know how this is. This is going to be a Shakespearean monologue.
Stop.
Well, let's start off with the best team in the AFC East, Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins. Tua is a sell candidate right now. I think that he has played really well. I don't think he can play better.
And I don't think he gets cheaper in the hobby.
Yeah, and I don't think the Dolphins make a Super Bowl run. So, with that being the case, it's a great time to sell your Tua stuff if you're looking to cash out.
If you're wanting it this year. Yep, for sure.
The guy that I think there's still a great buying opportunity on is Devon Achane. His stuff spiked when he got really good early in the season, and then he went on IR. He's been out for 3 weeks. He's got 1 more week out, and then he'll be back. And when he comes back, guess what he's going to do? He's still going to go back to running for 150 yards a game. And that offense is going to open right back up because his speed forced teams to keep a safety down, which opened up the passing game.
Yep. I don't disagree with anything there. I do think if you are not a long hold on Tua, which I don't think there's that many long holds yet. I think there's a lot of cautiously optimistic collectors.
Right.
I would also agree with what you're saying about Tua. He has shown quality quarterback play. He's not shown this huge playmaker ability, making possible things happen. He's consistently good.
He hasn't shown that he can will that team to a win by himself.
Exactly. He doesn't put the team on his back. However, he's good. So there's value there. I don't think he's going to get cheaper later this year. Yeah,
I don't think he's going to get less expensive. Unless it's not going to get cheaper, but I don't think he's going to go up too much either.
But with the AFC East, I do think they'll run a couple. I think they'll run a couple games into the playoffs. I don't think the defense is there to run them deep enough. Then I think Philly exposed a lot that's to be worked on. Now, having a run game
would have helped that game
a
a lot.
Difference. Yep. But I agree there. Everything you said. Second best team in the East, Buffalo.
So Buffalo's a little bit weird. I think that the best sell opportunity, or the most important sell opportunity right now, is Stephon Diggs. If you've got nice Stephon Diggs stuff, he is starting to wear his welcome out there.
Yeah.
And the team is trying to have his back, and he is not wanting any part of it. He's losing some target share to Gabe Davis. He's one of those guys that if he's not getting 10, 12 targets a game, he's pissed. And I think he's wearing his welcome out there. His stuff has good value. It's not a terrible time to move it. The guy in Buffalo that I think is an absolute buy at this point right now, and this isn't going to sound crazy, but his stuff has dropped 25%, is Josh Allen. I'm a long-term Josh Allen guy. So for me, if I can buy Josh Allen at 25 or 30% of what I could 4 months ago, that's a win for me.
Yeah, it's really interesting. He sure shoulders a lot more blame than other good quarterbacks.
Correct.
Because I think people saw he's capable of massive plays just with his athletic ability, frame, size, and it's almost like become an expectation that he's going to abandon this pocket passing presence that can run. But he has weapons.
Yeah, and the thing with Josh Allen that's weird to me is that he tends, from what I can see on the field, obviously I don't know the guy, the way he plays it feels like he internalizes those expectations because when he has a bad game, it's because he's trying to be a hero. He's trying to take things from the defense instead of taking what they're giving him. And so he is capable of a blow-up game every now and then. But I think Josh Allen is a great buying opportunity right now.
All right, let's move on to the team that let the world down this year with one snap. And that snap was an Achilles, the New York Jets. That was a solid segue, dude.
That was a solid segue. I'll give you that. So the Jets, very simple. If you are sitting on Zach Wilson stuff, it's not going to be any better than it is right now. This is the time to sell. Well, listen, his stuff has actually gone up.
Yep, he's won a couple games.
Sell it because he's still Zach Wilson. He's still bad at the position.
Now, him winning a couple games has shown us a couple things on the rest of that roster.
Yeah, that the defense is really good. That's what it's shown us because it has not been because of him.
Who are you buying?
On the Jets, Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson's a freaking superstar, and his stuff is dirt cheap. If Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback for that team, Garrett Wilson would be leading the NFL at every receiving category right now.
I think I have I have an RPA and a Contenders auto, rookie auto. And I think the last time I priced those would have been, right at the beginning of the season, $5-7.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson's stuff is really affordable, and he is receiver-wise, I think, really close to the same level of player as like Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson.
He has shown some special stuff.
Yeah,
for sure.
Breece Hall's not a terrible buy either, but
we're only
Garrett
doing
Wilson's
one.
the guy.
We're only doing one. We don't do Christmas decorations yet. We're only doing one.
Okay.
Pats.
Well, that's a tough one.
Just sell everything.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really a great guy to sell. I mean, if you're still sitting on Zeke Elliott stuff, I guess I would try to sell it, but his career's done. They don't have really anybody on that team that has a lot of value right now. Buying opportunity-wise,
I'm with you. I don't know.
I don't know that Ramondre Stevenson maybe.
I was going to say it.
Question mark? I guess. The team's just bad, and one of the things that I think we're really starting to see, there was never a Patriots way. There was the Brady way.
Maybe
it was the Brady way.
Here we go. Here's the buy. Belichick memorabilia.
Belichick rookie cards, 91 Pro set.
The 91 Pro set.
Brown's silky
jacket. Does he autograph anything?
Does he talk to anybody outside
Could you imagine?
of the building?
Mr. Belichick.
We're moving on to next week.
All right. I did like some of those interviews. I said it like he's not around anymore. All right, let's move on. Let's move to the next division.
Okay, what do we got?
Baltimore.
Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. Sell opportunity right now. This is going to sound a little bit over the top, but I think it's the right thing to do. Zay Flowers has played really, really well. If you have rookie stuff this year of Zay Flowers, the one thing that has been true forever in Baltimore is that wide receivers in Baltimore die. They go there to die.
It's true, and it's sad and unnecessary.
So with that being the case, Zay Flowers stuff has spiked a little bit. It's probably never going to get too much higher than it is right now. The buy opportunity, again, Lamar Jackson stuff dropped, and Lamar Jackson is playing better than he has since his MVP year.
Why do you think he is disliked? I think holdouts always affect people.
I think this is going to sound a little nutty, but I think it's the case. One, there's concern with injuries. He's missed a few games every year the last few years. But unlike Mahomes and a few of these other African-American quarterbacks, Lamar, and there's nothing wrong with this, but make sure I preface this. Lamar oozes that he is an African-American quarterback in all of the senses of the word that make it great, and plays into a lot of the old stereotypes about African-American quarterbacks. So the hobby got super high on him after his big MVP year, and then his stuff has just died since then. He's still one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. I would argue that if you give him the same weapons and the same coaching and the same offensive scheme that Mahomes has, he would put up very similar numbers.
Yeah.
So long-term, his stuff is down. You can buy his optic rated rookies raw for $15.
So to be a little bit more direct,
Yeah.
you and I have been to several card shows where people will just start talking
Oh, yeah.
mad about Lamar, and then you're like, oh, that dude's just racist.
Yeah, like you give them actual facts, and they well. I think that plays into a lot of it, though. As much as that sucks,
A little bit of shut up and dribble vibes.
yeah, very much so. And one of the things in
I don't disagree.
yeah, I mean, in the hobby, one of the things that you see, unfortunately, is there is a more than small contingent that falls into that category.
Oh, for
Go ahead.
sure.
Yeah,
It's
next.
pathetic and stupid and dumb. And I agree. If you can get Lamar, you'll be glad down the road.
Yep.
Pittsburgh.
Well, it's about a week too late to sell your Kenny Pickett stuff. I'm glad I sold mine.
Oh, you had the to 3 or
to
5?
I'm glad I sold it a month ago. Steelers are kind of in the same boat as the Patriots. There's not a lot there to love. George Pickens is probably a decent sell at this point because he's going to have Mitch Trubisky thrown to him for the rest of the year. At least for several weeks, and it's not like Kenny Pickett was lighting up to him. I think Pickens is a really skilled receiver, but it doesn't matter how good you are if your quarterback is not good.
Yeah.
The bye, in my opinion, in Pittsburgh, and it's been the bye for 2 years, and it'll be a bye for another year, TJ Watt is still not given the respect in the hobby that he deserves, and this dude is a first ballot Hall of Fame pass rushing linebacker for a team that has a history of that.
So it's twofold. Yes, I agree he's not given the respect in general. However, Steelers collectors are super fans. And TJ Watt has super fans. He kind of has this like superhero, what's the word, aura?
Yeah,
Aura,
but you can still buy his stuff really cheap.
It's
his
still
rookie stuff
affordable.
is cheap.
I mean, I sold a rookie silver for $15.
Yeah.
But people will buy it. People will buy
the
it.
same year Deshaun Watson silver's $100.
Yeah.
I would rather have 5 or 6 TJ Watt rookies than a Deshaun Watson rookie all day long.
You PC defensive players, though. I think that's
Only 2.
I'm the same way. If Jason Taylor,
Ed Oliver, Aaron Donald,
Zach Thomas, he defensive linebacker. But anyway, Cleveland.
Yeah.
We can't not talk about. Go ahead. You go first.
Yeah. So the sell, again, if you've got Deshaun Watson stuff, good luck trying to sell. I think realistically the sell right now is Nick Chubb. He's going to come back, but get what you can because who knows.
Reposition, yeah.
Buy-wise, again, another defensive player whose rookie stuff is cheap. Myles Garrett is a freaking monster.
People have moved on from the whole hitting somebody with a helmet thing.
Did you see him jump over the line and block a field goal?
Yeah, he's insane.
Jesus. Like, the man is 6'5",
Is he
270 pounds.
He's a more athletic Aaron Donald.
Well, he's just he's so much bigger.
He's more athletic.
Well, it's not, you can't even really compare the two because Aaron Donald's like a 6 foot. He's like a fire hydrant with pass rush moves. Myles Garrett is like a different genetic. You know how Andy looks to us? Myles Garrett looks like that to Andy.
But I do think he is more athletic Aaron Donald. He has, on the skill set, he's a freak in the same way. But then he can also jump over the line and have the athletic ability to catch a ball out of the middle.
The difference is he can't play inside.
Yeah,
Aaron Donald can play
very
inside.
Different. Yep. Wow, so far we're on the same page here. Let's go down to Cincinnati.
I was really excited about this one. Cincinnati sell Jamar Chase. And I love Jamar Chase. I think Jamar Chase is one of the 3 best receivers in the NFL. I also don't think his prices are going to go up much higher than they are right now.
A year ago, I would have been surprised to see that they are where they are and not higher because of the excitement around the Burrow connection. But I think that calf injury and the slow start has played into that.
Yep.
Because when you look at the hobby, it's not just how is someone performing, it's how are they performing at the right time for the hobby.
Yep.
So at the start of the season, people are like, who do we get excited about? What train are we getting on? They don't want to wait around for week 3 to see if it starts to pick up. He's still doing really good. I don't disagree with you. If you're not hanging on to him for a long time, I'd move him and you can reposition in the offseason.
Correct. And then the buy is Joe Burrow. His stuff fell during the Bengals' slow start. He didn't look good, but he was hurt. He's healthy now. And now all of a sudden he looks just like he used to. It's crazy.
I was buying low-end graded stuff and PSA slabs. Nines. A lot of 9s, and they were going for cheap.
15, $20.
Yep.
Yeah.
So double and triple that now, and it's
Yep.
going to keep climbing through the rest of the season. All right, division shift.
What do we got now?
Jacksonville.
Ooh, another fun one. Sell Calvin Ridley or Christian Kirk, either one. Christian Kirk stuff has probably gone up more than Calvin Ridley stuff has because Christian Kirk's had a really great start to the year, but he's a slot receiver. It's like when Hunter Renfrow got hot for the Raiders a couple years ago. Yeah. If you held your Hunter Renfrow stuff, you're a moron. Don't hold slot receiver stuff. Sell it. Trevor Lawrence is still cheap, guys. So is Travis Etienne, but Trevor Lawrence is still cheap for who he is. Trevor Lawrence, I think, objectively is one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league.
He plays like somebody that's going to be around for a long time.
Yeah, and he's not putting up a crazy stat line, but if you just watch him play,
he's leading the team.
Yeah, like he's going to win a lot of games. That team's really good. So that's my thought process on Jacksonville.
A team where our perspective is a lot different than we thought it would be a year ago.
Okay.
Houston.
Yeah. Houston is playing pretty well. I think they're going to end the year somewhere around 500, either 9-8 or 8-9, somewhere in that range, which is light years better than I think anybody expected from them. The sell in Houston, as much as it pains me to say it, especially if it's mid-range stuff, since he doesn't have any licensed autos, I think C.J. Stroud is a really strong person to sell right now. He's the leader in the clubhouse for Rookie of the Year as it sits right now. He's playing really well, not making mistakes, and he looks like a long-term fit for that organization.
More so than even I thought he would be at this point.
Yeah.
I knew he had talent, but especially those Buckeye quarterbacks, it's just been a history of can they actually melt into any other program?
Yeah. So I think that he's a sell possibility right now. The buy to me is Nico Collins. His stuff has gone up, but he is 4th or 5th in the NFL in receiving yards right now. He's a top 5 statistical receiver in the league right now. He's huge. He's got a great catch radius. I was kind of talking him up last year, and then the Davis Mills experiment went poorly. Mm-hmm. But now that he's got Stroud thrown to him, he looks like what his potential was. And he's still, you can buy his blue hypers and scopes and things like that for $8, $9. Whereas Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson's are $40.
Yeah.
Right. So.
All right. Tennessee. Let's go to the Titans.
Whew. My answer a week ago would have been different. I think right now you got to sell any Will Levis stuff that you have. I just don't know that it's going to get better than a 4-touchdown, no interception debut as a starter.
It's pretty solid.
I don't know that it's going to get better than his stuff tripling overnight. He would have to go out and do this for 4 more weeks for it to go up. So sell it. If you've got nice stuff, sell. I'm sitting on a stained glass that I hope I sell this week.
Yeah.
The buy potential in Tennessee is not huge.
It's pretty worn out.
Tajay Spears, maybe. Rookie running back. He backs up Derrick Henry. He's looked good in spot duty. And Derrick Henry is starting to look like a running back that's carried the ball 1,500 times.
So he's going to get more touches is
Correct.
What that means, yeah.
Yeah. And his stuff's cheap. You can buy his mosaic rookies for a couple bucks.
All right, let's head north.
Okay.
I know you're going to be a little excited to have this conversation.
All
Let's
right.
go up to Indianapolis.
Oh. You know what I'm going to say
You've
already.
been preaching it for years.
And all he's done. What's he done since he got there? They've won. He's 2-2 as a starter for him this year.
So Minshew, if any of you that golf, you all know somebody that's a scrambler.
Yes,
what
he
that
just
means
figures
is
that shit out.
They never put together 3 holes that looked good, but somehow they made par on all 3 of them.
Yeah.
And managed to squeeze a birdie out. And they were hitting out of the trees at some point.
That's me.
And they blew past the hole. But they just scrambled, figured it out. He is a scrapper and a competitor, and he's going to win. And for whatever reason, people don't like to talk positively about him, which is to your advantage.
So swaggy too. Like it's just.
So is he the buy or the sell?
He's a buy.
Yeah.
Like
so who's your sell then?
In Indianapolis, Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman is going to. I think there's a decent chance he's not even on the team next year. Wow. He's started running his mouth about not being used enough. Josh Downs, who they drafted this year, has played really, really well.
He had a pretty good week last week.
He's
though,
had
right?
3 or 4 good weeks in a row.
Pittman, though.
No, Pittman had 1 touchdown on 3 catches on 7 targets last week.
Well, he got me points right away.
Yeah. But in general, I think he's the sell. It's not like his stuff is huge value, but it's going to have even less.
Okay.
And on another note there, this is a little sneaky. I know we're doing one, and I was going to talk about Minshew. Jonathan Taylor looks like Jonathan Taylor.
Yep.
He's back, and he looks like Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
So he's cheap. Don't be afraid.
I'm so tired of talking about this team and hearing about this team. Can we do this quickly?
Okay.
Kansas
What is it?
City.
Yeah, we can do it
The
quickly.
media is ruining their team for me. I'm not even going to say her name.
No, you don't need to.
She has nothing to do with football. Quit talking about it. Nobody cares.
Yeah. Sell Patrick Mahomes.
What if they talked about everyone Dennis Rodman was quote unquote dating
The best part
during
about
the
this
Bulls years?
is you said, I don't want to do this. I'll just be
I'm
fast.
just tired of it.
I'm trying to
dog.
be fast, and you're just going
There I
on.
go. Sorry.
Sell Patrick Mahomes. Not because he's bad, because he's not. He's awesome. But his stuff it's already got 7 Super Bowl wins baked into the price.
Yeah.
If you've got it and you want cash, sell it. You'll
Yeah.
sell it easy, make your money. It's not going to go up much. The buy to, can I give you 2?
No, you can't. You
Can
have
I
to do.
just quick?
No, because
You know,
you
'cause
no,
you
you
went
keep
on-
doing this. You keep doing this. You keep giving
Ugh.
because you want to sound smart. Just pick one. Let other people tell you the one you missed. It's good for content.
Rashee Rice.
Okay, yeah, cool. Why?
He's looking like the only outside receiver they have that's worth any shits at all.
Mm-hmm.
The other guy was
Nope. We're going
is
on.
another one of their
Nope,
receivers.
we're going on to the Chargers.
You're the worst. Travis Kelce. Go ahead. Next.
Hey guys, we did all that for him to say Travis Kelce. Hey guys, buy Travis Kelce.
Go ahead. His rookie stuff's still too cheap.
It is very cheap, but that
Yeah.
year is cheap.
Yeah, it's still too cheap.
He was a rookie the same year as Le'Veon, right?
14, yeah.
Yep.
No, 13.
13.
13, yeah.
Because everybody has the score.
Yeah.
Score green.
Yeah.
Score what? Was that Odell's rookie year too?
He was 12.
12.
Yeah.
A similar card. Not
Yeah.
the same. Moving right along, the Chargers.
Chargers.
What's going on with Herbert, man?
What do you mean what's going on with Herbert?
People are down on him.
Well, again,
He does have a broken finger now.
he has a broken finger, but again, basketball is the only sport where one superstar can carry you to lots of wins.
So
It's
they're
the
weak.
only sport. They've got a terrible head coach. Brandon Staley's just freaking awful.
Okay.
Herbert is still somehow helping them get to a 500 record, and he's throwing the ball with authority, and his stuff is cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, it doesn't make an ounce of sense. Like, he's still probably the most expensive player they have. If I'm putting money on who I would sell right now on the Chargers, I don't think there's anybody that I would be going out trying my hardest to sell, because I think that they're all still cheaper than they should be.
Yeah.
Austin Eckler's cheaper than he should be. All those guys are. The buy for them, in my opinion, again, we're back on my defensive side of the things. Khalil Mack is playing his way back into the Hall of Fame conversation. Had a 6-sack game this year. He's
That's pretty hard to
leading
do.
the NFL in
Yep.
pass rush win rate. And looks like the force and terror that he was all those years in Los Angeles. And his rookie stuff is still really cheap.
All right. Moving along to a program that has everything buttoned up really well. Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh, you talk about a shit show. Josh McDaniels gets fired this week, along with their GM. They elevate a guy who's never been anything other than a low-level position coach, who used to play in the league, to be the interim head coach in Antonio Pierce. Shout out New York Giants linebacker. And they have decided that going forward from here to the end of the year, Aiden O'Connell is the starting quarterback. Rookie, Purdue, 5th-round pick. Not the worst buy.
Is he in all? What is he in?
Everything.
He's in.
Everything that's been out so
Okay.
far. He has autos out there. He is, when it comes to quarterbacks, especially rookies that are starters, it's really hard if you get them early and cheap to lose money on them,
Mm-hmm.
because people want to give them a chance to be successful, right? Look at all the people still holding out hope for Zach Wilson. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
They want them to be successful. So I would be trying to buy some Aiden O'Connell. I'm selling my Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Devontae's, again, he's going to be a Hall of Famer, but he's over it there.
Yeah.
And when Devontae Adams' attitude goes south, his production goes south.
That's very evident.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last team we're talking about, and it's a little bit of a different story than it was last time we talked about them.
Okay.
Denver Broncos.
Yeah. They're starting to play a little bit better after that 70 points got hung on them. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. Russell Wilson's not having a bad year, guys, at all. He's outperforming Patrick Mahomes statistically. And the Broncos are now 3-5. I don't think they're a good team, but I don't think they're going to be historically bad like I thought they might be. They're starting to kind of put it together a little bit. Russell Wilson's still cheap. Russell Wilson's still very much, I think, a Hall of Fame quarterback, unless he just does some dumb stuff.
Which he's capable of.
Correct. But I still think Russell Wilson is on a Hall of Fame track as a quarterback. So anytime that you can buy potentially Hall of Fame quarterbacks for 30 to 40% of what they were at their peak, that's never a terrible play. I would only buy slab stuff, and I would only buy chrome stuff. Yeah. And if you can get short print stuff, do that. The sell in Denver, in my opinion, is Jerry Jeudy. He's playing about as well as he has his whole career, and that isn't saying much. So get what you can out of him at this point. Yeah, if you must. If you can. He would be the guy that I would be dumping if it was me.
You were winded, but not long-winded. You were appropriately winded.
I appreciate that.
That's the closest I'm going to give you to a compliment.
I'll take it.
This has been the Ball Car Show, the sports podcast.
For the Sports Collector.
Bye now.
Peace.